So far on this channel, I feel like, the videos I've made have been a little heavy, you know what I'm saying? And I want to do something fun, or hopefully it'll be fun. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I was talking with a good friend of mine, and she proposed the idea of possibly letting, people close to me interview me. And I was like, absolutely not, because when it comes to filming these videos, I do it by myself. Like, my partner's here, but like she has to close the door. Like, I prefer like nobody be here, because I don't know, I'm weird about like doing this in front of people. You know what I'm saying? But I took that idea and kind of put my own little spin on it or whatever. And I came up with this idea called Question Roulette. The whole idea is somebody close to me will either write 3 to 5 questions down or send me a voice memo with 3 to 5 questions, and I will only get to see them or hear them when the camera's on and I'm recording. That way the reaction is in the moment, the answer is in the moment, and I don't know. I think it'll be a fun way to like talk about some random things, give you some insight as to who I am and how my brain works. And yeah, so let's see how this goes. And without further ado, this will be our first Question Roulette. Before I start answering the questions, I will let you know that these questions come from Lora, who is one of my longtime partners. We have been together for 11, 12 years. Don't quote me on that. And please, if you're watching this, don't fight me, love, because I'm not always the best with like dates and time frames and stuff, you know? Question 1. What is your least favorite thing about being polyamorous? Least favorite. I would probably say like the stigma, the perception around polyamory and what it means, I guess. I feel like a lot of people will say they're polyamorous and they indeed aren't. I know, well, I'm not gonna say I know, but there is a saying, I guess, or I don't know, like I've heard a saying that, everybody polys differently, which means every dynamic is going to be different. Rules, boundaries, whatever, guidelines, it's going to be different depending on the people involved. But typically when I say I'm polyamorous, either people are like, oh my God, I have so many questions and wow, like that's so different, or they kind of frown their face up. I'm not taken seriously. I get the whole, you can't be faithful and just all of that BS. There's clearly like a stigma around being polyamorous. And then not only that, like you say you're polyamorous and then people are like, oh, you're polygamous? No, those are two completely different things. Also, they like to throw in the swinger bit, and I'm like, again, that is something else. Don't get me wrong, I partake in lifestyle things, but swinger and polyamory, it's apples to oranges. You know what I'm saying? So that would probably be my least favorite thing about being polyamorous. Question number 2. What has been the biggest life lesson you have learned in your 30s so far? I don't know if I can pinpoint just one thing, but I'll throw some things out there. My mom was doing the best that she knew how to with what she had. That doesn't like justify or excuse the things that happened to me growing up, but when you look at it from that perspective, it kind of things make a little more sense, I guess, at least for me. I don't know. Another generational curses. I think I used to think that meant like, I think I used to think that meant like essentially, well, my mom or my dad lived their life this way, so like I'm going to live my life exactly like that. But like where I'm at today, I see generational curses as I struggle with anxiety and not believing in myself and stuff like that. I did indeed kind of follow down my mom's footsteps, and I endured some of the things that she did, growing up or while she has been living her life. But like, for instance, I have ADHD. My youngest has ADHD. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's little things that, like, because I grew up like this and I tried to do things, I guess, similar or better than my mom, my kids still ended up having some of those issues, or I don't know, things that I have. You know what I'm saying? So, like, generational curses is essentially, you not, I guess, providing a space for your kids to be themselves. I don't know, like, not have the hyperactive mind and stuff like that. I don't know if this is making sense. But yes, generational curses, I guess. Talk about my feelings, like, that's like okay. My ideas or ideal. I don't know, my views on what it means to like be a man has slowly been changing or shifting, I guess. That kind of goes hand in hand with like talking about my feelings, understanding that like, even though we are kind of like told that like, as the man, you're supposed to be the protector, the financial provider and whatnot, like, that's not all I'm meant to do. Like, that's not all there is to me. Money doesn't make me who I am. Like, don't get me wrong, money would make life a little bit easier on me, but money doesn't make me who I am. It doesn't make me a better partner. If I can express what it is that I want, if I can be there emotionally for my partners, you know what I'm saying? If I can be there emotionally for my kids, if I can provide people a safe space to talk about whatever it is, good or bad, that they're going through, like, that's the stuff that matters. That, to me at least, is what would make me a great man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's more to it than just money. Like, material things come and go. Question number 3. What are some of the best qualities in each of your children? Man. I'll start with my daughter. That little girl is like smart. You know what I'm saying? Like, she is smart. And not to say I'm not smart, but like, I don't know, I just admire the fact that like she is very book smart. She also is very determined. I don't know if that's just the Scorpio energy in her, but she is very determined. Part of me wants to say she gets that from her mom, but like, I'm also very determined in my own ways, you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, it could be a mutual split, I don't know, but like, she's very determined. she reminds me of me in the sense of when I was young, I was a people person, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I chaperoned one of their field trips, and I mean, the little girl had everyone like calling her name and talking to her and wanting to sit by her and like all of these things. And I was just like, man, like she's got that, like, I guess, is it extrovert? Yes, extrovert, like personality. Yeah. Determined. Very smart. And the extrovert personality. I would say those are three good ones for my daughter. My middle son, he is such a, I know my mom used to refer to him as like a gentle Ben. He is just so like sweet, I guess. And it's just nice to see, because like I feel like a lot of little boys, like they're like hardened, or especially around his age, like they're at like they've been stuffing down, I guess, the emotions so on, and like it makes them hard, and they don't like I guess they don't show that like sweet side of them too much. He just wants to be around, which reminds me a lot of me when it comes to my mom. Like I didn't want anything from my mom. Like it wasn't about money or like what my mom could do for me. It was just always like when we would go long periods without talking or something like that, like it was just like, I just want to be close to my mom. Like I just want my mom. And he will literally come over and just, it's like as long as he's around, he's good. And then like I kind of get in my head because I'm like, oh my God, like, do you need something? Are you bored? Like what are you sure you're good? Like, because he'll come over and chill, and you know, he plays his video games. He's super into video games and stuff like that. So like he just wants to be around, like, and it's just, I don't know, it's nice, you know, it's refreshing. For my youngest, he is himself, which is something that like I really have been fighting for. My relationship with my youngest, like there's a whole story to like him and everything, and I kind of want to talk about it on here. It's something I've been like toying with back and forth, but he's himself. Like he marches to the beat of his own drum. He does things that I'm not super crazy about, but get it out your system, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, he kind of finesses me and his mom when it comes to, you know, his mom lets him do certain things that I wouldn't be too crazy about letting him do. But again, like I said, I guess get it out your system now instead of when you're older, you know what I'm saying? But he's very much himself. He is very smart. Also, I mean, all three of my kids are very smart, but like he picks up on like a lot of like the social media things, and just he does ask a lot of questions. He's very inquisitive. I mean, what? He's himself. I would say he's very loving also. Like he will ask you for a hug like 50 times in an hour, or he'll just come up to me and be like and then he'll just float off. Like it's funny, and it's interesting because like I am a very affectionate person, like when it comes to like when partners or people I'm into and stuff like that. But like I guess like I kind of even get in my head as far as when it comes to like sometimes I just want to smother them, you know what I'm saying? And they're getting older, and I guess I don't want to be overbearing or something like that. So I don't know, like it's just nice to see. And then also like I've had to not check myself, but I guess like be like, hey, like he wants this hug, he wants this attention right now, give it to him, because at some point he's gonna think he's too cool for me and not want it. You know what I'm saying? So like, might as well enjoy it while, you know, I got it or whatever. Yeah, I think that was an even 3 for all 3. Yeah. Okay, so question 4. How has therapy changed your mental health? Therapy opened a lot of doors, like mentally and emotionally, that I guess had just been like shut and locked and couldn't find the key for a long time. When it comes to therapy, I originally started going to therapy, didn't really know much about therapy because of, you know, cultural stuff and just background and, you know, people around me not necessarily being, you know, pro therapy. I kind of thought it was like one step away from the loony bin, you know, but I didn't know much about it. And when it came to my youngest, due to how he came into the picture, I had to have like a serious conversation with myself, and I was like, you know what? Let me try therapy so I can sort out how I feel and figure out like if I'm going to do this or if I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Because I was going through some like heavy emotions when it came to him and how things came to be. But oddly, what started off about him and how I felt and how this happened turned into me talking about my childhood, growing up, my siblings, relationships, friendships. And even when I was going to therapy for him, I had stopped. I think it was because I changed jobs or something like that, so I didn't have the same insurance or something. But eventually I got back into therapy, and it was like that started the whole motion of me really unpacking just years of things I didn't really talk about, things I suppressed, emotions that I shut off. Just, it opened so many doors, like so many doors. And it's really weird because, well, not weird, it's funny, weird, I don't know. When I told my mom I was going to start going to therapy because of my youngest, she literally looked me in my face and told me, why are you wasting your money? It's not going to do anything. And I just shook my head and was like, okay. And I continued on with therapy. But like now my mom has seen how much growth has come. Well, yeah, how much growth or how much I've grown from going to therapy. She is now pro therapy. And it's even to the point where I may or may not be helping her get a therapist and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So it's opened so many doors. It's taught me better ways to communicate. It's taught me how to regulate, you know, my emotions and my thoughts and stuff like that. And I touched on my anxiety in one of my This Week segments, and even like that, like just figuring out how to like navigate relationships, my emotions, being a dad, my relationship with my mom, like just everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's done wonders for me. Hopefully that answers the question. It's done wonders. Oh Lord. If you made it this far, you got the gist of this, and I would love to kind of make this something that is a recurring thing on the channel. So sometimes we can keep it lighthearted and fun, you know. I also don't have control over the questions, so who knows? It might get a little heavy too, but this is the gist, the idea, the point, whatever. And I'm sorry if this is longer than usual, but you know, we're figuring things out around here, you know? It's okay. That's all I have. Thank you, Laura, for the questions, and until the next one.